And welcome everybody to a revisit Let's Play of Metroid Fusion. I decided to redo this Let's Play. Mainly because the first one wasn't bad at all. This is one of my favorite games ever. And I wanted to revisit this game before because not only was I a big fan of this game, I'm a big fan of this game in general, and because it's my 10-year anniversary of being on YouTube, I decided I wanted to redo a Let's Play, kind of in celebration of the decade of being on the platform and whatnot, and I was trying so hard to think of a Let's Play to redo. I really could contemplate on either doing one of my first ones, and Metroid Fusion is such a game beloved to me. It was one of the first games I ever played. It was the first Metroid game I ever played in my life. And it means a lot to me. And I come back and I replayed this game on numerous occasions. And my first Let's Play I did of this game, I didn't really do it a complete justice walkthrough. Like, I did go back and 100% it later, but it wasn't in the entire run. It wasn't like an actual walkthrough one video at a time. Most of the stuff I picked up was in a bonus video. And I kind of wanted to redo this because of that. That, and not only that, some of my most popular videos on YouTube in general are from this Let's Play. And I kind of wanted to give back to the community in some way for that. As you guys saw, Samus, our main character we're playing as, she has crashed into an asteroid belt. But we're going to find out what happened to her. This is actually canonically the fourth Metroid game in the series. There's the first Metroid on NES, the second game is on GBA, Samus Returns, and the third one is Super Metroid. This game takes place after Super Metroid, but canonically it follows the story of Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. So we're going to go ahead to this fresh file and we're going to start. I've been assigned to watch over biological research teams, so I once again found myself on the surface of SR-388. It was there that I was attacked by a life form I had never encountered before. It was only later that I learned the identity of my attacker, the parasitic organism we now know as X. Unaware of my condition, I was returning to the station when disaster struck. Once the X had infested my central nervous system, I lost consciousness, and my ship drifted into an asteroid belt. The ship's emergency system automatically ejected the escape pod before impact. Biologics vessel recovered it and transported me to Galactic Federation HQ. However, during the journey, the X multiplied within me, corrupting large areas of my power suit. It then came to light that the organic components of my power suit had become so integrated within my system that it could not be removed while I was unconscious. Large portions of my suit had to be surgically removed, dramatically altering my physical appearance. However, the X in my central nervous system were too embedded to be removed safely. I was given a minimal chance of survival. Then, someone found a cure. They proposed using a Metroid cell to make an anti-X vaccine. It seems that the Federation had managed to preserve a cell structure from the last infant Metroid from SR-388. The serum was prepared and injected without delay. The X parasites were immediately and completely destroyed. As for me, one life ended, yet I survived, reborn, as something different. Pondering this fact, I realized I owe the Metroid hatchling my life twice over. We'll soon be arriving at the BSL research station. I must prepare for docking. The ship's computer has notified me of our approach to the Biological Space Labs, or BSL, research station. During my surgery, the research team sent the last batch of creatures we captured there, as well as the infected pieces of my power suit. After regaining consciousness, I learned that an unexplained explosion rocked the station. For some reason, this awoke a nameless fear in my heart, and now I am being sent there to investigate. My mission on BSL Station will be overseen by my new ship's computer. Following the commands of this blunt, computerized commander is something I have to bear, as it was a condition of my taking the ship. For someone who dislikes taking orders, this is the second time I found myself having to do so. It makes me recall my other commander. There's been an explosion in the quarantine bay. The bay currently stores capsules containing recent samples from SR-388 as well as parts of your suit infected by the X parasites. The cause of the explosion is yet unclear. Investigate. The quarantine bay is here. Move quickly and quietly. You're still unable to use most of your latent abilities. Don't forget that, Samus. Stop at the navigation room on the way. Uplink from there. Is your objective clear? Yes. Now, go to the quarantine bay. Alright, so Metroid Fusion, if you've never seen my other Let's Play of this, is a 2D platformer. And where you shoot with the B button, you jump with the A button, you can just jump, make Samus jump and whatnot. If you hold the directional pad while jumping, she will do a cartwheel. Like so. This is very useful in certain situations because movement is very important in this game, as well as shooting. Your standard beam is with the B button. We will be getting later weapons in the game with different button combinations. Your energy is on the top left-hand corner of the screen. We have currently 99 energy. We will be upgrading our health here shortly. On the top right-hand corner is the visible map. If you push start, you'll be able to see the whole map. This is the whole map, and it'll show you your objective that you need to do. As well, if you push A, it'll tell you the scenario which you need to do. Various rooms has various letters. N is navigation room. S is the save room. D is a data room. And R is a recharge room. Data rooms are used to get abilities. Navigation room is where we talk to the computer. Save room is obviously where you save your game. And recharge rooms are where you recharge energy, weapon, ammunition, whatnot. But our first objective is to go to the quarantine bay. The quarantine bay is on the navigation deck, and we will be able to go to here in a second. You might notice that these hatches have doors on them. This is a red door. We will not be accessing red doors until much later in the game. Right now, we cannot access any hatches at the moment. We can only go through doors that are just flat out open, like this one. We cannot open any hatches yet. Now, one thing in particular, another thing that that is very helpful, if you push the L button, Samus will aim her arm in a diagonal, which is very important because, well, it allows you to shoot at a diagonal, which will come in handy when shooting enemies later. Let's go ahead and talk to the computer here in the navigation room. The quarantine bay is ahead. Biosigns are confirmed. Be careful. So, when I got this game, I was 13 years old. And I loved it so much. Because one thing in particular it really kind of introduced is the creepiness factor. This game is very, very creepy. And I will say this right now, playing this as a 13-year-old boy who has never really played anything other than, you know, happy-go-lucky Nintendo games and Sega games all his life, this was a real eye-opener. Now, here in the quarantine bay, as you notice, the hatch closed on you. You have to complete the objective before you leave. Here's our first enemy, this frog-like enemy. You need to go ahead and just destroy it, like I said, as soon as you do so. And then as soon as you do, an X-Parasite will activate. You can actually absorb the X-Parasite. It's not like at the beginning of the game where it infected you anymore. Samus is now immune to X-Parasite. In fact, she completely absorbs them and completely destroys them. So, go ahead and absorb any X-Parasites that you see. So, without further ado, let's go back to the navigation room and say we killed that frog. This is unfortunate news. The specimens brought back by the field team were infected by X-Parasites. Well, I could have told you that. The X can mimic its prey. Any specimen could have hosted it. Before the explosion, a security sensor scanned one. The gelatinous X-Parasites invade and rapidly reproduce, killing the host creature. They also absorb DNA and use it to mimic the host. You were almost killed by an X-infection, but the Metroid vaccine saved your life. It seems Metroids were the main predators of X. That's why the vaccine worked so quickly and so well. But it also changed your cellular makeup. You will never be infected by X again. In fact, you can now absorb any free-floating X-Parasites without a host by merely touching them. This allows you to replenish health and restore weapons. You may also restore latent abilities this way, so pursue free X-Parasites whenever you possibly can. This station is home to many species, some violent ones. We must keep the X out of the breeding environments at all costs. That is vital, Samus. I am already detecting massive biosigns in this region. The X are gathering. They may be our chance to exterminate them, but you are only at 10% of battle capacity. Your chance of survival is extremely low. The Federation needs you live and on duty, Samus. Is your objective clear? Now get going. I have released the lock for level 0 hatches. Look for blinking hatches. Saying, you doubt my skill, computer, huh? 10%? That's all you got? Oh, man. I tell you what. Anyways, he unlocked the... I say he, it's a computer. So, yeah, he unlocked the blinking hatches, level 0. It's this one right here, the one that's gray, and it's blinking. You can now open those. We have green ones up here we won't be able to access until later. So let's go ahead and shoot the door to unlock the hatch, and then, sure enough, there's another frog enemy. Let's go ahead and kill him and absorb X. There are various types of X parasites. Ones are yellow, ones are green, and ones are red. Yellow ones replenish your health by 10 points. Greens will replenish your ammunition for stuff for weapons we get later. And reds completely do both, and they heal by a lot. So save game. This is your save room. This is where you save your data and whatnot. So if you wanted to save the game and just move on, that's how you do it. We're going to keep on going a little bit over here. There's a new introduction to a new enemy over here, a zombie. You just shoot him once and he dies. But the thing is, though, an X will come onto the screen and infect it again. Its remains are still there, so it will get infected again and respawn. So just be careful whenever you do that. The zombies are nothing, but just remember that it's an infinite respawn. I've received news from HQ. They can support you with downloadable weapons data. Once you have this data, you'll be able to use missiles. This will help against some enemies your beam can't hurt. Head to the data room for the download. The data room is here. That's the D room. We're going to the D. Objective clear. With missiles, your chance of survival plummets to 20%. Man, that's not very good. Only a 10% increase. Man, I tell you. Alright, so we're going to ignore these enemies here, and we're going to just jump on up here. I am playing this version on the Wii U Virtual Console. That is the version I think is probably the best looking, so that's why we're going to play it on this. When you go up this elevator, you push up on when you get on the elevator to go up. That computer reminds me of a gruff Federation commander. I served under the name Adam Malkovich. He called me Lady on missions. From anyone else, it would be sounded sarcastic. But Adam made it sound dignified. Out of respect for him, with some irony, I named the computer after him. So, Samus has already kind of got an attachment to this computer already. She already named it after an old commander she had. Alright, so here on the observation deck, we can go into two different types of rooms. The observation deck is actually kind of a very important set piece later. This is a recharge room. This is where you recharge your energy and your weapons later when we get weapons. And then obviously here's another save room. Let's go ahead and save the game here. Alright, so I probably shouldn't be saving in the middle of recordings, and I probably won't after this episode, just in case, you know, something happens to the recording, Lord forbid. Let's go in here and go to the navigation room. You don't have to talk to the computer if you don't want to. He'll just basically tell you, hey, it's right next door. Data room is just ahead. That's all he'll say. You don't have to talk to him if you don't want to. And then come over here. As soon as you do so, you'll download a new weapon. Missile data downloaded. Hold R and press B. So now we have missiles. You activate missiles. We only got 10 missiles to use. You push R and you kind of ready them. And then you push B again after you're holding R and you'll shoot a missile. So just keep that in mind. You only got 10, so don't use too much at the beginning. Later we'll be getting so many you can just go wild with them. Electrical interferences has knocked out the elevators on the main deck. This may be related to the X. I'll work on it, but as for you, try to find another way to get to the target. It's located here. I'm reading huge biosigns. Hope your missiles work. To reload missiles, you can use recharge rooms or absorb a special type of X parasite, as he color-coded in green there. You'll see them. Try them out. The objective clear. Yes. Missiles are your only hope. Don't hesitate to use them. Now, find a way to the target. And sure enough, he's tasked us to use our missiles. Now, here, he said that the elevators are pretty much out of commission here. We need to use our missiles right here on this thing. And it will gain us access here. Now, this thing right here is a blockade. It's an X-Parasite blockade. The only way you can actually damage it is with missiles. So let's go ahead and shoot 3 missiles at it to kill it. There's the green parasite that I told, X-Parasite that I told you, that replenishes your weapons. It replenishes 2 missiles. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, see, it'll replenish 2. Now, we're about ready to get our first expansion. There are a lot of expansions in this game, and in order to get 100% thing, 100% on the game, you have to collect all the expansions. We got our first missile expansion. Missile expansions increase your capacity of missiles by 5. I think in the Japanese version has hard mode, if I remember correctly, and it increases it by 2, I think. I mean, unless I'm thinking of Zero Mission. But if you come over here and shoot this little platform, there's a second missile expansion right here. So now we have 20. So that's a kind of a clever hidden one right there. So just keep in mind, we're going to be looking for finding really well-crafted hidden missile expansions. Right up here is another save room, if you want to use it. I'm not going to use it right now. So we're just going to go ahead and just keep on going. Sometimes it's really helpful to use save rooms, but especially because at the early part of this game, because this game is actually really decently hard. Now we have a door blockade. This is usually indicating that there's a boss nearby in the next room. You have to shoot a missile at him when his eye is not glowing with a beam. As you saw, when his eye is glowing, it will shoot a giant beam at you. So be careful. Once you destroy it, it gives you a red X. A red X heals a lot of health and a lot of missiles. So just be careful of that. Now we're here in the area that the target's at. One thing in particular Metroid Fusion has done, in tandem to like other Metroids, is Samus can actually grab on ledges. And if you hold the opposite direction, she kind of gets ready to jump. In later Metroid, in Metroid Zero Mission, this is actually an upgrade you have to get. It's called the Power Grip. Samus does this normally in Metroid Fusion. And now we've got our next expansion. This is an energy tank. An energy tank increases your health by 100 points. So now we have 199 points. But before you drop down here, there's another expansion. You have to shoot up right here on this block. And with a missile, there's a hidden missile block. And you just jump up here, grab this ledge, and come over here. There's a second energy tank. So now we have 299. This is actually a really easily missed missile energy tank that a lot of people miss on the first try. So just keep that in mind. As soon as you walk down here, we're going to find our first boss. This is Arcanus, an enemy from Metroid 2. So first and foremost, we're going to shoot a couple missiles at him, and you can only attack his front. And be careful, he'll shoot fire out at you and then do a giant wind claw swipe. Just grab these ledges if you want to avoid damage. Getting hit in this early part of the game is actually kind of detrimental. Samus does not have a lot of defense in her current suit. Her current suit is really weak, so you'll be taking a lot of damage in the beginning of the game. And as you can see, I have 2 missiles. You could just go ahead and just use your beam to completely destroy it. But as soon as you destroy the main part, you introduce a new mechanic. This is called the Core X. You have to shoot the Core X, the spiky edge of the Core X, with a missile to kind of damage it. If you do this a couple times, it'll start changing color. When it's red, it's almost dead. As soon as you shoot it, you'll destroy the core. There's a freeform X-Parasite floating above it, and if you absorb it, you get a latent ability. We got the Morph Ball. Press down twice on the D-pad to morph. This if you do this, Samus will duck when you push down on the D-pad. But if you push down twice, she turns into a ball. Kind of staple for Metroid series that she gets the Morph Ball ability. It's kind of a very important ability in Samus's arsenal. It allows her to traverse them through small, tight corridors like this. So now we're going to go ahead and go through here, now that we've defeated our first boss. We're going to go ahead in here and then just climb through this way. And watch out for the zombies, and come through here again. Now we're going to go over to, if you come up here, there's actually a blockade in the way here. This is an easy pass by room because you don't think to come back here. This is a free recharge room. Again, this fully recharges your weapon energy. So it's not really important, but I just wanted to point out it's there. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead, and I think this is probably a good stopping point for the first episode. We defeated our first boss and we got our first latent ability back, as well as got some missiles. So, in the next episode of Let's Play Metroid Fusion, we are going to go back and talk to the computer again and find out what our next objective is. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.